Hello, Mr. Banana, breakfast in a skin. Mr. Banana, where would I begin? This end, who can tell?
What's that from? You've not made that up.
I have.
You didn't just make that up.
Yeah.
That's a very good banana-based rap.
Not even a rap, it's a song. Anyway, guys, good morning. It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com, joined as ever by Scott, who is grumpy this morning.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they won't just release the game that makes the most sense, Jules.
Fill the audience in. What are you talking about?
So, this is our morning news, by the way. This is our new banana munching format.
I'll stop eating, but...
Well, you can if you want.
No, carry on.
Don't get all lip smacky.
Right,
That's not what you want.
So this is the thing. There's obviously E3 is just around the corner. We're going to be doing a live stream for the entire thing. Scott and I are going to be kicking things off with Microsoft, but obviously one of the big players is Ubisoft, and you know what they like to do when it gets to the week before? They like to leak things. We've leaked things. And one of the big things they've leaked is the fact that there is going to be a new watchdog called Watchdog Legion.
Yeah. I mean, so this leaked a little while ago that there was going to be a watchdog set in London, and then this is a new leak was basically the product was listed on Amazon UK, and then Jason Schreier of Kotaku fame went on and said, look, this is all true, this is what I can corroborate. Watch Dogs Legion is the newest Watch Dogs game, set in London, and the big thing, the big hook thing is that you can play as any NPC, you can recruit anybody and then control them, and they have unique animations and voices and everything else.
Now that is a huge gameplay mechanic if it's true. Like, no, we have to say it's pretty amazing. The only thing I can think that it's had that's anything similar to that is, do you remember back in the day when is it Battlefield used to have an ability where you could switch between beam in between troops? I imagine it would be like Driver, when you could like transport between cars.
Well,
so maybe there'll be a slight mechanic, but to have a video game that's basically expressly telling you that it's not going to have a main central character, or if there is, that he's going to have some sort of weird telekinetic abilities. Tell me then.
I just think they recruit them. Where are you getting your telekinesis from?
It said you can play as. The exact quote on the thing was, you can play as any NPC.
Yeah, but you just take control of them, like in Metal Gear.
But how do you just take control of somebody without telekinetic powers as well?
What do you mean?
Right, I'm not being the weird one here. If a game just comes up to you and says like, this is a super serious game about criminals and hacking things, you can also control anyone.
Yeah.
How are you controlling them?
You've controlled multiple characters in a video game before, and they weren't telekinetically linked.
No, but when it says play as, it implies a sense of agency, as in like every move I make, he is also doing the same moves. Are you saying that it's going to be like an RTS game?
I'm saying that you play as a main dude. I mean, look, I'll read the thing. Play as anyone. Every individual you meet in the open world has a full set of animations, voiceover, character traits, and visuals that are generated and guided by gameplay systems. That doesn't mean that they're all linked.
But the title was, you can play as. I feel like
anyone.
Yeah, I feel like Jason Schreier's like completely misled me now.
No, he's not. No, I don't know where you've got this from. This isn't PsyOps and Mangate conspiracy.
It's a real shame. I wish it was. Tell us more about it.
Well, that's pretty much all we've got, to be honest. But I think we were making video game comparisons. The portable Metal Gears. I think it was on Portable Ops and in Peace Walker. You hired a whole bunch of dudes and you could control them and go on missions with them. So you had like a more limited loadout and whatever. But you did just play as them. You weren't telekinetically linked.
So that's a shame.
I'm game for it.
I would have liked a sort of like body swapping thing where you can literally, because it would have played into a potential like multiplayer system that they could have done. You know how Assassin's Creed has that hide in the crowd players an NPC sort of thing, and then you assassinate somebody. Imagine that, but just on a city scale. Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
I mean, so basically, the other thing I threw in here was that apparently the game engine, to get their head around everything, apparently it was a massive headache, and that's what originally caused Watch Dogs 3 to be delayed. But apparently it's eventually going to be revealed at E3, and it's going to be called Watch Dogs Legion, set in London, whatever. The thing is, though, it's still not Splinter Cell.
Yeah, this is
why wouldn't they just do Splinter Cell? This
is the reason why we're making this video. It's not the fact that
this is a thing, but
it's a huge thing, and we can talk about definitely the pros and cons of doing this, but it is another nail in the coffin for an already established franchise in Splinter Cell, because I know you want them to make that.
Yeah, so the reason that it ties to Splinter Cell is that in the same thread where Jason Schreier was being asked about the Watch Dogs 3 announcement, someone said, well, what about Splinter Cell? And his reply was, I think any Splinter Cell fans are in for a disappointment. And it's
that sucks, doesn't it?
Look, at this stage, I mean, we cover E3 every year, and I've lost track of how many years I've been covering E3 now, but every single time, I mean, the last Splinter Cell was 2013, so that's at least 6 years.
But the annoying thing is that they've also teased the fact that Splinter Cell might be making a return by having Michael Ironside come back and do the voice of Sam Fisher.
There's a big
at the end of Wildlands when they do that DLC thing, and he even like almost looks down the camera lens and says like, that other guy, he didn't do so well, the guy with the bandana Snake. He's inferring that the stealth genre is on its last legs and that he was one of the old few guards. So why not go out with a bang and have one more game?
You've got Michael Ironside in the Wildlands DLC.
Yeah.
You've got a leaked set of goggles that apparently came as a pre-order bonus on GameStop that were then taken down. You've got the creative leads behind The Division, and I forget there was like 2 or 3 leads on Twitter that were all on a night out together.
Oh yeah, and then they said that, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, they joked about working together. What? Just a joke to you, Ubisoft. What? Just do one.
I feel like that is a particularly mean-spirited one because it's kind of like, it's almost like Valve just going up and walking around doing that all the time. Just like three everywhere. Like, you know what I mean?
I can't fathom it. I saw this morning, I was looking into all the different sales figures, and like Watch Dogs 2 initially had quite a poor launch. It sold, I think it was like a half of the original game. And then you look at the history of Splinter Cell, and I didn't realize that the original trilogy, like, you know, the first one, Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory, actually sequentially went down in sales. Chaos Theory was actually one of the worst selling ones. Then, as it pivoted into like Action and Splinter Cell Conviction and Blacklist and Double Agent, they then went back up again. So Blacklist was actually one of the best selling ones overall, even though the fans really didn't like it because it didn't have Michael Ironside in. I will always champion that game. I think it's the best one next to Chaos Theory. But maybe they're just looking at maybe Splinter Cell isn't as valuable as we think it is, which is even more gutting.
Well, this goes on to a larger subject of when people say, like, why didn't such and such get a sequel? Why didn't do this? It's like, you can have a game that is critically so well received, but if it doesn't sell well at the end of the day, if it doesn't make the ridiculous targets that the developers set, then that is unfortunately going to be one of the main reasons.
It's true. I did just think though, why are they doing Beyond Good and Evil 2? If all this,
but Beyond Good and Evil 2 is one of those things where it's become legendary. So now cashing in on it, its IP is actually worth more the longer they left it.
If we do the Splinter Cell goggle noise, that's pretty iconic.
Yeah, true. But then again, there's a reason why they didn't kick out Psychonauts 2 straight away.
Well, yeah, but even that was Kickstarted, and that was Double Fine, and like different. I think if you're a company that big,
but you have to let things gestate in order to come out. And I know, I'm with you.
This is like me talking to you as an Ubisoft rep.
But this is the thing.
Come on.
Yeah, and I feel like as an Ubisoft rep, I can't do anything about it. Like it's. Even if they did, you've got to also weigh up the pros and cons of it. Like, if you are going to do it, you're going to bring back Michael Ironside.
Yes.
If you're, fair enough. But that's going to come with like costs. He's going to know that you're going to be coming for him, and that's going to be weighted cost, and it's going to be the development cost, more this, more that, more that. It's like, it is incredibly difficult to restart a franchise at this stage. They might have to reboot it like completely.
Wasn't the first Beyond Good and Evil older than Blacklist? I'm sure that was like 2008
Like,
and they've sort of gone back to that. My thing with Splinter Cell is that I think they have a perfect way to do it, because they've already proven that they do Rainbow Six Siege, and it's this big platform, and it's extremely intense gameplay. If you've played Siege, it's one of the best tactile first-person shooters on the market. Like, that whole mentality would easily copy across or be molded onto the Spies versus Mercs thing, which is entirely what they pioneered across the 2000s. And it doesn't even need to be asynchronous, because you give the Spies a whole bunch of abilities and the Mercs a whole bunch of abilities. Spies in third person, Mercs in first person, and that's your platform. That's the thing that you just do another Rainbow Six Siege with, and then you give us a campaign alongside featuring Michael Ironside teaching someone else to be a new Splinter Cell.
Like the film Zorro, Mask of Zorro, but like with stealth.
Sure, or just Splinter Cell.
Antonio Banderas, what boy.
What made you think of that?
I don't know, I just thought of Zorro. I heard Cleary and Ewan talking about Zorro versus Django. It was apparently it's a comic book series that happened at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it's got nothing to do with Splinter Cell, but then again, it about as much as Ubisoft's plans have to do with Splinter Cell.
Listen, we just have to learn that we're going to be getting
something.
Watch Dogs Legion, and let's get hyped about that. Let's talk about how that could be. Yeah, come on, man.
Get a laptop and some drones again. I mean, I like Watch Dogs 2, to be honest. It's all right.
I thought that mechanically it was a better game than the first.
Oh no, God, they're so different. They might as well be on a different plane of existence.
Watch Dogs 2 was much more fun than Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs took itself way too seriously.
Yeah, Aiden Pearce is a terrible character.
And everyone's like, oh, I think they've gone a bit too silly with Watch Dogs. It's like, do you not realise the sort of stuff you were doing in Watch Dogs 1?
The cool
stuff, ultimately weird.
The cool stuff in 2 is that they finally gave you just a toolkit, and it was like, here's your laptop, here's your drone, here's like this like weird ball sock weapon thing you've got, and you can just kind of play around with it like a physics sandbox kind of thing. And I think I've talked about this before, but I love the idea that when you realise that you can complete missions remotely, you can just sit your character outside like an outpost and just send in your little army of drones to go do stuff and take control of cameras. And
which makes me think what the sort of gameplay is going to be in Legion. Like, I mean, if you can recruit all of these people to do all these things, are you going to be in a massive open world where there's going to be other players trying to do the same things? If so, are you trying to capture territories? Is it going to be kind of like a small battle sequence? Is it going to be like what's the game, The Division, but with more NPCs that are your guys?
Well, we do
and
know
if you
that,
lose, like Dynasty Warriors, they like lose and you get pushed back. I don't know. Like,
we do know that Ubisoft love their like one design template.
That's the thing. So, we've been talking about this a lot. So this ticks so many boxes because it is Cityscape, which they've done well before. It is like large open urban warfare, which they've done many times before. before.
Like they have multiplayer.
They've already proved with Watch Dogs 1 and 2 that they can get their tech stuff working, and they can do online capabilities pretty well because of Wildlands and like teaming up with that. So out of all of these, you start going into the singularity of them making one game. They just cherry pick the best bits from all their other games. Like, oh, if they have a mountain in there, it'll probably have the snow physics from Steep. You know what I mean? Like they'll just like put it all together and it'll be one perfect game.
It's just the Ubi game. It's the Ubiverse.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you can do the thing that I keep thinking of is that they keep
took me by surprise. That was a real shift in
I'm sure the goggles were in Watch Dogs 2 because I just for a second there I was like, oh, I can just play Watch Dogs like a stealth game.
Can you also?
But I swear you get the costume and the goggles in Watch Dogs 2.
Wasn't there also references in Watch Dogs 1 and 2 for Splinter Cell with like because you could scan people and learn their identities and stuff like that?
Someone worked for like Fifth Freedom or OPSEC or whatever, and it's just like, what are you doing to us?
It becomes less of a tease. It's more like this is what it's like normally. It's like, oh, this is nice. And then it becomes this, and then it goes in your ear.
And I'm just like, so, I mean, if you're going to do that, then that's fine, but I need to acknowledge what the hell's going on. If it's just a random thing poking me every now and then, I need the follow-up.
But we will deliver all of the news as it develops, because obviously E3 is just around the corner. And we are, like I say, going to be doing live streams. Scott and I are going to be kicking stuff off for Microsoft.
Sunday
which is
at
going
9 p.m.
Yeah, so Sunday 9 p.m. UK time, we're going to be here in our little jammies, and we're going to sit there and have a cup of cocoa. I will be doing that definitely because I'll be hungover because it's I'm going out the night before.
Okay, good. I'll not be in jammies. I'll just be
well,
here.
it would make no sense for you to be in jammies because of the fact that you're actually staying through and doing Bethesda straight after, aren't you? And you're probably not even going to be going home.
And then Ubisoft after that, which I'd signed up for, they go, oh, see Splinter Cell.
So you're going to be watching
Watch Dogs.
About 8 hours worth of stuff. So you get to see Scott stream for effectively between 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, it'll be this reaction. I mean, Microsoft's going to be good. It's a whole thing. But
Bless
just give me, I can't fathom it, and I'm going to keep going on about it, but I don't want the banana, especially not your banana, but I'm good.
Bit rude.
Yeah, a bit rude. You already started it.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Come and join us at the end of the week for some more E3 stuff, where hopefully, if Watch Dogs Legion gets any more details, we will be able to share them with you right then. You can go follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter, and
you can follow me at /LP89.
And until then, we'll speak to you soon. Remember, you have been awesome. Catch you there. Bye. Banana friend, potassium. Gonna put it in your assium.